Um, as far as some of the other jokes in the show, there were jokes in the show that um, probably weren't sensitive. They wouldn't be PC today, and they've been cut out since then. Because at the end of the day, I think the most important thing that when you're a performer is making sure that everyone at your show feels welcome and feels like they need to be there. That doesn't mean that you need to come out, I think, at the start of the show and say, "Hey, everyone's welcome at this act."
Hmm.
But I think there are ways you can do that subtly by indication, by your mannerisms, by how you treat people that can help people understand. One of the things I always make sure to do is um, I after every show I take pictures and photos and talk with anyone who wants to talk with me after a show. And there have been people who are part of marginalized groups. And what I've always tried to do with them is, if they are someone, say, who's trans, I say, "Oh, hey, what's your name?" And I call them by that name. Um, I try not to nowadays assume anyone's pronouns, stuff like that.
I love it because it certainly comes across as we're all together. We're part of a family when you look at your content, and I think that's a big thing of like you don't. It's difficult because I watched it and I thought, oh, Indiana Jones, and it's really cool and stuff. I never thought the connotation that it would have to people who like families who had members who were slaves and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I never even thought about that. And it just shows the difference of how different tools can be visualized or the stigma they have attached. And I was like, and then you have such a way of bringing everybody, young, old, insane, normal into your conversations, and I love how you're bringing that into making people think and being safe and making a safe space and that. So you do all this amazing stuff. You're whipping fire. You're like getting guys to wear helmets and whipping cans off their heads and all. Like
Yeah.
there's knives and all sorts of insane stuff. Your TikTok is amazing. Everybody should come and watch your videos. But how do you deregulate from this? How do you kind of go back to being Jack? Going and getting food and stuff. Like, how do you calm yourself enough to get to sleep? Because I imagine you must be up here with emotional highs and the confidence and stuff.
It's usually not that hard. It's the sort of the just the 3 hours at the end of this. So, like, let's say the festival closes at 7, the 3 hours between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. That usually is enough to just kind of decompress, get out of character. It used to be that I had to listen to kind of like slower, sometimes sad music at the end of the day to kind of get back out of character. I don't need that anymore. Which is, I think, I'm just so tired at the end of the day. The natural physical exhaustion will do it. Every now and then, there's a show that's so good that I'm like, oh man, I'm still kind of buzzing from it. Maybe an hour or 2 hours later, but it's rare that continues beyond, I would say, honestly, an hour or two after the show.
Because I've certainly found recently with like asking a lot of the big name people, like what's your protocol for this? A lot of them just go, I just try to eat healthier. I just go back and I'm like,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
tired of and I think sometimes we think there's secret hacks and you must have this like guru telling you, and a lot of them it's just like I eat when I'm hungry. I try not to eat crap all day, and it's like,
yeah,
oh, fair enough. And we
yeah. I
forget.
mean, my fitness routine when I'm at home is a little more regimented, but I mean, that's we don't need to get into all of that. But it's really, I mean, at the end of the day, getting out of characters is pretty simple just because you're so tired, especially, like down in Florida where it's been so damn hot. It's like by the end of the day, I am just fried, literally, metaphorically, emotionally, you name it, I'm there.
I love it. It's because you have such a great relationship. Like your wife is involved in a lot of your video editing.